Is your business pootling along instead of firing on all cylinders? Are you feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and frustrated? Do your dreams of financial freedom feel a long way off? Then this is the podcast for you. Little Voice, Big Business, with your host, Nadia Finer.
Hello and welcome to Little Voice, Big Business. I'm Nadia Finer and this is my podcast. I'm here to help you with your business and to hopefully provide you with strategy and support to help you turn your little ventures into a big business. Today's episode 2, and following on from last time when I told you a little bit about my story, this is our first episode where I'm going to be answering one of your questions. This is going to be the format that we'll be using from now on, and in case you have a burning business question or you've got a bad case of the business blues, head over to my website, nadiafiner.com, and you'll see on the right hand side there's a pink button which says be on the podcast. It's like a voicemail, and you can leave a message for me asking me your business question, which I would love to answer on one of these sessions. So we're going to be kicking off today's with a question from Hilda. Hilda is a Norwegian life coach, and she has left me a message. So Hilda, how can we help you?
Hi Nadia, this is Hilda, the Norwegian coach. I'm so grateful you're giving me the opportunity to ask these business questions. But my other thing is that I'm still working in a corporate job because I kind of love that too. But I love the coaching more, and so I want to transition into coaching full-time and leaving my business job behind. No, I have good stamina. I know how to use a lot of time getting things done. But I happen to prioritize my corporate job and my family in front of my coaching. And my life doesn't have more than 24 hours a day and not more than 7 days a week. And so I don't want to totally overwhelm and drain myself again. I do want to live a life that I can be happy with. But at the same time, I do want to get my business up and running, to get out and to let people know that I'm there, that I can coach these women, that I can help, that I can show the way, that I can teach them tools and fun ways of actually kind of slightly changing their life. Not drastically, it doesn't have to be, because they are good enough as they are. They are complete as they are. I just want to show the way. And so that I can coach them, that I have credibility, that I know their background, I know where they are, I actually know their pain, but that I also know the solution. If you had 15 hours a week or something like that, how would you prioritize those hours? What will be the most important things to focus on? So please give me advice. And thank you so much for being who you are and giving your skills and genius to the world. It's really needed, and I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, Nadia, and I hope to hear back from you. Okay, bye.
So Hilda is asking how she can fit her business into the 15 hours she has available to her. Now, 15 hours does not sound like a lot of time, but actually it's totally doable. Firstly, most of us start our businesses as side projects, and then once you get to a certain point, that's when you can decide whether to phase out the day job. You would be very unusual if you decided to quit your job and plunge full throttle into a new business venture. In fact, that's probably extremely rare because you need to be able to pay the bills, and your day job is the thing that's paying you. So I would suggest that this is not an unusual situation, it's completely doable. And actually, when you don't have a lot of time, that's when you can be more productive and more focused. I don't know about you, but I often find that when I've got a bit of pressure or a deadline, that's when I really crack on and get loads done. Okay. These are some tips which will get you started, but how you choose to bend and flex your time is going to vary as the business grows. As a coach, you're a service-based business, so there's 3 main areas that you need to focus on. Number 1, serving your clients. Number 2, finding new clients. And number 3, doing admin. Boring, but doing the admin that you need to do to keep your business functioning. So first of all, my tip number 1 would be to automate where possible. Find some software. I use something called Avaza, avaza.com, which helps me manage my finances, my invoicing, and all my clients. It also helps with things like invoicing your clients on time and then getting paid on time, because that's another big waste of time. Another thing you can automate is scheduling on your website. I use something called vSeater, and there are other options, something like Calendly, and that way you're not wasting time toing and froing, saying to your clients, oh, can you do Tuesday at 3? No, 4. What about Wednesday? And before you know it, you've not only lost the will to live, but actually you've wasted a good half an hour on emails that was completely unnecessary. You can automate your social media. We all know things like Hootsuite and Buffer, but there's actually a really great tool called Edgar, which you can post into your groups using as well. To me, it's important to get the foundations in place so that as you grow your business, you're not overwhelmed. And using a system is a lot cheaper in many cases than hiring a person. So definitely look to automate. And for the things which you really hate doing, or maybe are not your strengths, I spoke to someone the other day who was telling me, she's an artist, and she was telling me that she absolutely hates admin. You just need to bring somebody in who can help you. So, like Hilda, if you're in a paying job and you're looking to save some time, we'll outsource some tasks to somebody who perhaps costs less than what you make at work, costs less than you're bringing in through your job. And that way you're only focusing on the key tasks for your business, growing your client base and serving, and then the minimum amount of admin possible. So you can hire a virtual assistant. There's a lot of talk about VAs, and we can go into that maybe another episode, but I think having a VA, someone who you can start off with giving maybe 5 hours work a month to, is a great way to put the foundations in place for your business, and then as you grow, you can give them a bit more work to do. As I said, let's get things in place from the beginning so that your business is free to grow without hindrance and without you having a meltdown or feeling completely overwhelmed. So what exactly would I do in your shoes to grow my business? Well, like we said, we've got the admin foundations in place, but we also need to get the strategic foundations in place. And you'd be amazed how many people don't do this. The number of people I speak to who are well on their way to running a business, but it all starts to unravel because they've not got their fundamentals in place. So that's things like getting clear on who you're targeting. Why would someone hire you? Why are you different? And what are you hoping to deliver for your people? It's hard to find clients if you don't get clear on this stuff, and you'll end up going round in circles and wasting a lot of time. So before you rush out and say, I'm off to get some clients, this is it, I've got my software in place, off I go, you really need to understand why someone is going to hire you. Why would someone pay you their hard-earned cash? What is it that you're delivering for them, and how are you going to change their life? And often, it's not, there's a tendency when we're delivering something intangible, it can be hard to articulate the change that we're going to bring about for somebody, but we really need to understand what that is, because if you don't, it can all end up being a little bit wishy-washy and fluffy, and then it's a lot harder to sell to somebody because they don't understand how specifically you're going to impact their life. Okay, so then next I would get some of the physical stuff in place. Make sure that your website is up to scratch before you crack on growing your business. Your branding and photography needs to look professional. Your booking system needs to work. You need to have contracts written. Basically, I'm saying get your house in order before you start. It will save you a lot of time down the road. Things like, if you don't have your contracts sorted, for example, and I know a lot of people perhaps neglect this because they're fearful of hiring a lawyer maybe, or they think it's going to be expensive. Well, just imagine you get clients and then they don't pay on time, or they leave before, you were expecting them to. That's going to take up a lot of time and energy and heartache when things go a little bit pear-shaped. So it's better to get things straightened out before you start. Okay, next up, have a sales process. You can use your software like 17 Hats to keep track of your leads. When I started my first business, I didn't understand the importance of a sales process. It sounded super cheesy to me and really off-putting. But all it is, and it's so important, all it is having a list of people that you've come into contact with who are potential clients, and don't forget about them. Follow up with them if they say they're not ready to work with you yet. Follow up with them a few weeks later and see how they're doing. People like the fact that you haven't forgotten them. You're not hounding them or stalking them, so don't harass them on a daily basis. That's not what I'm saying. But if you just show that someone is on your radar and you're interested in how they're getting on, then when it comes to the time when they need you, you'll be front of mind. So this is super important. It also helps you to close a deal. So often we reach out to a client, potential client, we talk to them, they tell us what they need, we offer to help them, and then they go off and we don't close the deal. So having a sales process or a pipeline or whatever you want to call it will help you to keep track of those people. Make sure that you actually get something in writing, get commitment, book in a date with them, that kind of thing for when they would like to start. Then you send them the invoice and you're ready to go. Having these things planned out is going to save you a ton of time and help you move things along more smoothly. Then, okay, your time is valuable. You don't have a lot of it. So what are you going to do? You're going to chunk up your week. You can literally do this in a diary, in a calendar. You can make it pretty if you want to. I like to get some colours out. But bunch up your work. If you're going to be doing discovery calls with clients, try and book them in for one chunk of time, say a Monday afternoon. If you're going to see clients, try and see them on a Tuesday or a Thursday. And do your business development on a Friday and a Saturday, for example. And that way you're not flitting between one thing and the next. You can also chunk up your time for things like recording podcasts or writing blogs. So you're in the right frame of mind and you crack on and get it done one after the other. You're not sort of turning the computer on and getting set up and doing your videos one at a time. You're literally blitzing it and getting them done in one chunk of time, which means you get a lot more done. There are loads of other things you can automate that will save you time. So you can create a funnel. So you create a freebie for potential leads, something of value that you offer people. It helps to build the know, like, and trust factor. So people opt in and you send them something of value like a checklist, a list of useful tools, a planner. I have my Actionista action planner, which people seem to really love, and it's super great value. It's over delivering, but it shows that your work is of high quality and that you deliver great value. So if you create something like that, it will help grow your list, and then follow the list, and then you follow up with your people. You'd have an automated series of emails that builds on this trust. So it shows how you can relate to your people. You tell them stories about yourself, which people can relate to. you share advice and tips, and it shows that you're someone who knows their stuff, someone who knows what they're doing. And then when you're ready to sell to them, they're primed, they're ready for you. So you can completely automate that process. Okay, next, I would make sure your coaching package or your whatever service it is that you are running, I would make sure that your package is exactly what people need, and that it's the right price, and that your sales page is written in a professional fashion, and that it's persuasive. You don't want to necessarily be spending longer on the phone to people, converting them into a sale than you need, because you don't have a lot of time. So you want your website to do the work for you. And I know that in the time you have set aside for business development, I know you were wondering what to do. And I know that when you're first starting out, it can feel a bit desperate. You need clients. What are you going to do? My advice is to focus on the things that you enjoy. There are so many possible things you could do to grow your following, raise your profile and build your credibility. But if you do the things you enjoy, it will come across. And don't feel that you need to do everything. I suggest that you focus your attention on the platforms, for example, social media platforms, which your target audience are actually on. You know, if they're never on LinkedIn, why would you spend time on there? You don't have much time. So only do the things that your people are going to see. Be where they are. It's so obvious, but you'd be amazed at the number of people who waste time doing things where their potential clients are never going to see. It's ridiculous. So focus your attention on those things, and focus your attention on the things you enjoy doing. If you hate making videos and you're really uncomfortable doing them, it will come across and you won't want to do it. So don't do it. It's okay not to do everything, and I think we can beat ourselves up feeling like we have to do what everyone else is doing. If you love Instagram, great, find a way of making that work for your business as long as it's relevant to your audience. If you like writing, it's better for you to spend your time writing an amazing blog and an email newsletter to go along with it every week than it would be for you to force yourself into doing Twitter if you hate it. I also believe that if you talk from the heart about issues that you feel strongly about, that will completely come across in your work, and the right people will resonate with that, and they'll come to you when they want you to help them with something. So I basically think what I'm saying there is, so put the blinkers on, ignore what other people are doing. You can waste so much time getting distracted by people who seem to be more successful and more established than you, who are using, say, Pinterest for their business, and you're worried that you need to be doing that too. Only do what you want to do and ignore the rest. And one final piece of advice that's going to save you a lot of time is to stop signing up for courses and programs and webinars and buying ebooks and worrying about what everyone else is doing and flitting between one thing and the next. It is a total waste of time. You just need to crack on with growing your business. It sounds so obvious, but your goal should be to get some clients and not to spend hours every week learning more stuff. When you need to learn things or when you get stuck, that's when to look for information. You do not need a constant stream of information that's burying you alive on a daily basis. So I think that should hopefully help you move things along and realise that 15 hours a week is actually quite a lot of time. Like I said, if you focus on serving your clients and finding new clients, that's a great way to divide up your time. Automate and outsource the other stuff, or the admin, for example, that you don't enjoy doing. Let go of being perfect. You don't have to do everything to a super high standard, it can be good enough so that you can move on. If you spend the whole week or your 15 hours writing one article, business growth is going to be incredibly slow. Get your foundations in place, strategic and physical and administrative, so that your business runs really smoothly from the outset. Get a sales process so that you're maximising your leads. Chunk up your week to make the most of your time, and only do the kind of business development and social media that you enjoy. And finally, ignore what other people are doing. So I hope that answers your question, and there are some useful bits in there for you to help you make the most of your time. Thank you for popping by and listening to Little Voice Big Business. Our next episode is going to be all about pricing. I'd love it if you would head over before you dash off to go and grow your businesses. I'd love it if you head over to nadiafiner.com/podcast and subscribe to Little Voice Big Business. That would be ace. I'd really like to hear what you think, so maybe leave me a review on iTunes if you get a moment. And I look forward to chatting with you some more next time on Little Voice Big Business. Thank you for tuning in. Bye bye.
Little Voice Big Business.